Hi everyone, this is Marcia Lefroth, and you can find me on Facebook at Stamp with Marcia, or my blog is stampwithmarcia.blogspot.com. Today I wanted to show you how to assemble or mount your cling stamp sets, and then I wanted to show you how to make, if you have old stamps that were before they had cling, they call them clear mount. If you put the labels on them, like I have, they're really slippery and they don't really stick very well. Now, of course, that one's sticking, but what happens is, like, yes, it'll fall off sometimes. And I'm sure if you've mounted yours, you've had that problem. So how to turn these stamps you may have that are loved and you want to keep them, that they fall off your block. How to turn them into a sticky one that doesn't leave a residue. I used to do it with glue, but now I don't have to. And then what to do if you get a brand new set and you want to add your labels that are cling mount. Now this one I have already done one. So now they have these new labels that are sticky enough that they can stick to your block and not fall off, like the one I just showed you, but also they're not so sticky that you can't peel them off. And they don't leave a residue. I used to have to put glue on my stamps, like let it dry, to keep them from falling off, but now I don't have to. So let's just show you what you do. You're gonna break out a stamp. Break them out of their rubber. Okay, I'll just pick a couple to show. And then you take your labels, and it's a lot harder to peel your label off and stick it to your stamp than to bring your stamp to your label. And I'll show you what you mean. So you want to make sure you're on the back side, and they have these little cracks in there that you can use to peel it. And then you want to make sure to take the white part off of that. Now, some people just don't mount their labels because this will stick just fine. But then it's easy to stamp upside down because you can't see what you're looking at. I personally like to see what I'm looking at. That's my preference. Some people just never mount them. But anyway, you just want to label that or line that up right over the opening, and then you peel it off and it's good to go. Now these are pretty sticky at first. And if you freshly put your label on, sometimes I stick them to my hands or my clothes to try to take off some of the stickiness. If you stick it on your block right away and you leave it on there a long time, when you go to lift it off, you may have some problems. This one's coming off fine because it hasn't sat there a long time. But if it's sat there a long time, you want to be really careful that you don't just rip it off, because you could rip your rubber. You always want to kind of get in under the corner to lift it. Or sometimes I use, do I have it here? I use this end of my pick tool and I peel it off. Now, again, right now, I'm not having that problem. But if I go to pull it off and I see that it is not easily peeling off, then I will get this under the edge just to make sure I break that seal, because you don't want to rip your stamps. So anyway, I love the new cling mount stamps because I'm someone who has always liked to put the picture on my stamps, but was frustrated when it would fall off and not cling. So I love that they made them now that they stick. Oops. So that's how you do those. They are pretty sticky. Then when you store them in your case, you don't have to keep the rubber. You can just stick them right to your case and they stay like that. The only reason I keep my rubber is that I'm afraid of losing a place, or it like lets me see, oh, I'm missing that stamp, I need to replace it. So I tend to keep the rubber. I don't always, but that's what I do. So anyway, usually when I get a set, I sit and put it together. I actually had a hard time finding one I hadn't put together, but this one's fairly new. So again, you see the image on this side, you're gonna go to the back side, peel it. We'll do one more, even though now I'm making this video longer than it has to be. I'll find the matching striped tie and peel that off. And now the bigger they are, that can be a little trickier to line them up. And once you stick them down, they are stuck down and you really can't get it off. And I have mounted some wrong and I just had to live with it, because once you mount them, they're on there for good. So anyway, that's how that works. Now, what about your old stamps that you've already mounted the pictures on and they don't stick? They just fall off your blocks, and it's super annoying, especially if it sticks long enough to get in your ink and you stamp it in your ink, but then when you go to put it on your project, it just falls off. It's happened to me many times. So Stampin' Up! Now has these cling adhesive strips. Okay, but it's really important you do this the right way, because if you peel it off like this and go take that to your stamp, it's going to be the wrong way. It's going to be the really sticky side. So they do have hiding in here, because I'm like, where's the instructions? They are kind of tucked in this package. They're the back side of the label. That's where they are. And so they recommend you peel it off, just like we did on that other one, from this side. And now if the stick starts coming with it, then you want to go in the middle. So it's really like 2 of these little strips is 1 strip, and the middle's to help you peel it without lifting the whole thing. Okay, so you're going to do it this way and then bring your stamp to it, just like we did before. Now, of course, that's not the perfect shape, but you really only need a little bit. And now this is going to be the cling side, because this side up is like the side that's not going to come off. It's going to just stick to your block. So you want this side. Now I didn't cover, and then I'm going to just trim off the extra. I didn't cover the whole block, and that's okay, because I got enough that it's going to stick there now and not fall off. Now, had I paid attention to which side was which, I could have used that on something else, but I didn't pay attention, and I don't want to do the wrong one. So let's do another one. Sending a little Christmas magic your way. Once again, I'm going to peel from this way, and the stick side stays down, and then I'm going to come in here and get that there. I should have planned that better so I wasn't having to cut off both sides, but oh well. And then you'll go cut off the extra, and you just need some. And I used to take my new cling mount, before they came out with these, peel off the little extras and try to make them myself. So I was super excited when they came out with these. And see, they're gonna stick but not come off your block, which is what happens if you put them on the wrong side. So I'm gonna do one more big one, and you know, if you're like, I got the idea, you can just get off. So let's take this train, because that's big, right? That's gonna take a bunch of strips. So I could just put it on like the top and the bottom, stick some there and one there, because that's gonna hold it. Or I can take the whole thing and cut around it. I think I'm gonna just do the top and the bottom. I might do, I don't know how I'm planning this out. I'm gonna just come in here again, peel. I should have done the middle one first, because sometimes it does want to lift both sides. So my finger's stuck to it. So I'm gonna just get the top of my train there with that piece. Oh, the whole thing is coming. Oh, it came off. So now I have a little bit there, and I mean, in a way that could be enough to hold it. But I'm gonna go ahead and stick some on the bottom too. Kind of messed that one up. So again, you peel it and you're leaving the sticky thing on the wax for right now. And then I'm gonna come in and grab some from the bottom. Now my whole stamp isn't sticky, but like there's a spot in the middle that if I wanted to go take a piece too, I could. But it should be sticky enough. Let me grab a block. That it's gonna stick, and I'm not gonna have to worry, okay, that block's not big enough, about it falling off in the middle of my stamping. See, I can shake it really hard and it doesn't fall off. And that's your goal. And just like the other one, once you have that stuff on there, just be careful when you peel it off that you get under that stick so that you don't rip it. Okay? All right, thanks. Bye.